Alright everybody, welcome back to some more Pokemon Crystal. It is I, Xilestar, and today we got a new member. we got we got a Raikou! Because we got our 4th gym badge, so we were able to go and get him. Unfortunately he is an exact copy, I believe, of our Entei, so Bite will obviously be down, but apparently he will have Thunder Shock, Leer, and Quick Attack. So, awesome. So how this is going to work now is that, like, we're going to keep individual stats of which ones have lost. So, Entei we know lost once. So we're going to keep that as our sort of, like, our mental sort of thing. And just like we did with Pokemon Yellow, pretty much. So, and then later on, we're going to do the same thing with Raikou. So if Raikou faints, let's say, in the next episode or whatever, or the next video, or however you want to call it, well, guess what? Raikou then gets a loss, because that's how that works. And yeah, so if Entei goes down, that doesn't mean, okay, we gotta go make everybody else wipe. No. That just means that we have Raikou as a backup. As you can see, I also made Raikou level 34, just a little bit higher, nothing too much. Although I'm really confused why the health is different. They have the same IVs. Anyway. Oh, the IVs and EVs. Or DVs, I think, in this version. Anyway. Yeah. So, we're not going to be doing the 6 video thing again. I apologize for the first 2. I think the first one I was just after a month, I think, of recovering from what I had, so like that's the kind of excuse that's there. But for like last time, mind you, I did feel I did feel good enough that I could like record. I think I only coughed I think once during like I think the first like 17 minutes, give or take. But other than that, yeah, no other coughs, so it's amazing. I think I did an entire Oblivion session not too long ago with no coughs. So, I think a little like like that, but I don't count that as a cough. So, it's good. Getting better. So nothing really new, except for I have grossly underestimated how long it takes for me to do things. In Minecraft. I don't know if I recorded this after that StarCraft session, maybe. Definitely know the newest one I did, yeah. And same thing as last time? Yeah. Yeah, we lost once to you, Archimus. And it was just a fluke, to be fair. But we've won everything else, so... I mean, technically to the story, we've never lost. But, meh. I know at some point we're gonna have to... go and, I'm gonna have to go and get more Pokeballs. Actually, I should probably check to see if I can get any now. But yeah, so I've grossly underestimated how long it takes for me to do a StarCraft session. I think it's session 4. Oh, you don't sell Pokeballs. What is it? Session 4, I think? Yeah, let's see here. Session 4. Yeah, session 4 I had at the end that we were going to do at least a little bit of the organization. And then I completely and utterly forgot how long it will take for me to do that, so it ended up taking longer than I thought it would, and then I'm like, well, you know what, I'll do the rest off screen. And then this time we started working on the doors. That was a hoot and a half to do. Yeah, I won't get Pokeballs. I'll get them. Oh wait, we're gonna get Fly soon. We're gonna get Fly soon. So I don't think I'm gonna need it. An eye trainer? No. Okay. So, that took an entire, like, StarCraft session, which was insane. In of itself. It took 6 videos to make 3 doors. Then again, the first time I was trying to figure out what was, how to do it again. And then once we got to, like, the second and the third door, it was easy. Because, well, I've already done it. And it's easier to kind of put the numbers in there. Yeah, the only thing I gotta do now is do the opposite doors. So I think we did all of the left side doors, so now I gotta do the right side doors off screen, and then I can record again, kind of thing. I don't think I'm gonna do the organization of items, not the organization of items, what am I thinking of? Gotta wait for my brain to catch up, though. Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish off the storage room later on. So yeah. That's pretty much it. Something else that I found out for the channel while I was uploading my usual, which is usually like 3 days worth of videos, something very interesting happened. Which was that I found out what's actually happening. For some odd reason, the Pokemon Crystal videos seem to be taking longer for their thumbnail to go up, which is interfering with the upload schedule. I'm not going to lie. So, Oblivion modded playthrough, practically instantaneous. No problems. StarCraft, same idea. Practically instantaneous, no problems. So, if you actually see for Pokemon Crystal and all the other videos, you'll see that they still go through the same sort of title format, which all of them share in their own way. So, if you look at Pokemon Crystal, I can get through the entire thing and get through the scheduled time, which usually takes a little bit. But usually by the time I hit the scheduled time, everything's already uploaded, or like the thumbnail's uploaded, the playlists are already listed and all that stuff. And then it's just done. But for Crystal, it doesn't upload the thumbnail in time. And so what it does is that instead of uploading the thumbnail, it just never uploads it. The only thing that it then does... Yeah, the only thing that it does is that it skips the thumbnail entirely, so you get a blank screen instead. So what I have to do is I have to go back and edit it so it gets the thumbnail. And then even then, it takes a little bit for it to load. Oblivion, Minecraft, the other Pokemon games, even Scarlet never had an issue like that. And I'm surprised by that too. That it's Crystal that's having this issue. But all the other ones never had this issue. Just Crystal is. Very odd. So yeah, I just find that that's very interesting. And then nothing really new for Oblivion, I think. I think the only thing that's going to be new is that I'm going to pair off the modded playthrough and the mod playthrough versions together. So instead of having 2 separate versions for both of those series, they're now going to have one conjoined version. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until... Well, technically right now. I'm going to wait until I have everything all set up ready for it. So the insides of I think the hideout and the lair, I'm going to wait until all of it is all AXM'd, all standalone, and get their appropriate scripts to work. And not only their appropriate scripts, but what is the other thing I'm thinking of too? Again, my brain is just mush today. Probably because I was planning so much on the doors and they broke my brain. What's the other thing too? Oh yeah, get all their scripts, get everything all ready to go, so they're like, everything works perfectly fine. I gotta go fix 3 already pre-done scripts because they have a bug that I fixed before, which I thought I fixed, but apparently I didn't. And then I gotta replicate a bug that I found beforehand, and I gotta figure out if it's actually the item, or if it's the part of the script that I'm just not understanding. Because I'm trying to think of like what could be the issue. It could be like how it treats it as. That could be. Yeah, I'm just facing every trainer, getting as much experience, and then going. Let's... Yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm trying to do for that stuff, for the most part. I don't think there's anything else, though. I think it's mostly just make the lair and the hideout stand alone. Maybe reposition everything in Sanctuary so though it fits just like the normal vanilla Sanctuary. And then maybe I'll do the same thing for lair and... what is it? For lair and... hideout. For the most part of hideout. I gotta figure out if it'll even work the way that I think it does. Because it's got 2 entrances, and I don't know how they would work. I'm hoping they wouldn't clip through each other. That would be very sad if they did. Eh. But I'm trying to think of everything else too. So like... So for the Cove, I have an idea of using a different mod's textures because they would fit a lot better and it would make the area stand out. So that's kind of what I want. However, I don't know if it has all the pieces I need, and not only do I not know if it has all the pieces I need, but I don't know if it has like, I don't know where they originally got the textures from, if they got it from somewhere else. And the thing is that does the lair also share those pieces? Because if the lair also shares those pieces, I have to separate them. Because if I go with the textures that I want for the Cove, I'm not going to say they don't fit the lair. I mean, you could, in a sense, say that it would. However, it's not going to fit it as well as the Cove. If you put a little bit of different paint kind of situation, yeah, it'll definitely fit the lair. I mean, for the Cove, I was thinking of like the normal blue textures would fit it perfectly to what I would like. And then for the lair, I was thinking if you were to change the color from red to, or from blue to red, it would fit a lot more, because the lair is supposed to be like a vampire / evil sort of character hideout pretty much. So I think it would fit a lot better if it was like red, so it kind of showed it as blood or something like that. Like it would have fit a lot better. Come on, get up. There you go. And not to mention, though, that I have to also make sure that every one of the items in which that I put in each and every area is unique towards that area, and have some that are shared, either on, like, some of the locations or all of the locations, if need be. Like, one that I was thinking of was, like, having it shared, like, one that is shared across all of them is, what do you call it? Is the bank script. And the reason why I want the bank script to be universal is that, like, if you're in the lair and let's say there's a script that you need to pay gold for something. So then, in order for you to go and do that, you need to be able to obviously pay the gold. Which is going to be part of a problem because, well, let's say your character doesn't have the right amount of gold, and for some odd reason, you need, let's say, 5 gold. Now, in order for you to get that 5 gold, let's say you have 5 gold stashed in the bank, so if the bank is not in that cell area, you now have to walk back to the main house in order to access it, then walk all the way back. That's a long backtrack. Now, I'm not saying though each and every cell is going to have like a direct access to it. So like one cell is going to have direct access to all of them. No, that's not how I'm going to do it. What I'm talking about is that the lair will have its own bank. That it will, well, all of them are going to be interconnected kind of thing. They're all going to access the same pool. But each and every one is going to be like in its own separate area in a sense. So lair is going to have one that's going to be in the entrance area. Cove is going to have one, or the hideout is going to have one in its cove area, in the center of the cove area. And Sanctuary is going to have a statue that's maybe going to be in the center. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to put it in there just yet. And plus, not only that, I got to go move a few things to different areas as well. So, for instance, I got to copy one of my activators and move it over to Sanctuary. Is there anything else here? Ooh, there is an item over there. I do want that item. Cool. It's very helpful. But yeah, so there's a few things that I want to move to a different section, and then other areas in which that I want to, not to say move them, but just to have them in a better spot kind of thing that fits their sort of area better. Because I'm trying to think of every other, like, area that would make sense. And there's only, like, one area in which that does make complete sense for me to actually go and do. But there is a problem with it. So each and every area is supposed to have its own sort of, like, theme. So, like, for instance, the main lodge area is supposed to be for home things. With an exception to the bank, because obviously how the bank works is that it's just a built-in ATM machine in your own home. Like, you know, like everybody else does. You know, I have an ATM in my house. Everybody does. No. But that's the only exception to it. Like, obviously you have things that interest your hobbies. So, for instance, I think the upstairs has something that allows you to create things like potions, allows you to create things like spells and enchantments. Oh, I forgot a trainer. Interesting. And what's the other thing too? There's another thing that's on that desk and I can't remember what it is. I think it's just an alien well, just AXM'd. So it just helps out with the magic stuff, pretty much. We also have the statue of Elysian, which is just pretty much a glorified mirror, changing your face so you can apply makeup kind of situation. It's not a mirror, though, because I don't know if there actually is a mirror in Oblivion that can kind of function. I don't think so. But It's there. Like, it's there for that kind of purpose, so, yeah. And I'm trying to think of everything else, too. That is there. We have the bank, we have the bottle ship. Mind you, you wouldn't be able to go inside the bottle ship, but it is there, nonetheless. And what's the other thing, too? There has to be something else. I know it's just a bunch of items stored in chests, but those aren't activators that have a function. The Skull of Therion, however, that one is also going to be shared with Sanctuary, because Sanctuary had a theme at the beginning, and I kind of want to keep it, so that's the whole reason. Can't remember anything else, which is very sad about it. Yeah, I don't remember anything else, which is very sad about it. Oh wait, where's the mart? There it is. Do you still sell Pokeballs by chance? Yes. We'll go with 50. So I'll just go get some super repels if you sell any. Nope. But yeah, like, I'm trying to think of anything else, though, too, in the house. I know the basement has a few functions. I know the basement, for the most part, has the Faction Master chests area, which I think will also be shared. Because I think it's an achievement thing that should be shared across every area. Or if I don't want to, or maybe I'll make the lodge have a shared version of it, or have like a duplicate of everything. But see, then that wouldn't make any sense though, because then that would be unfair. Because technically the Thieves Guild could go into the hideout. Like, I would have to create like 3 extra areas that will specifically fit the other ones too. And that's not fair, because that's a lot more work. And not only is that a lot more work, though, but that's going to make my mod feel very bloated to me. Like, already right now it feels way too bloated, but it's going to bloat it even more. Okay, I think Centric can learn it. I'm hoping Centric can learn it. I think Centric can learn it. Yeah. But yeah, so like, the lair is going to be very interesting to do. Because the one thing I want to do is I'm going to do the same thing as I did with Sanctuary. Well, I say I did. Somebody else did it, and I just copied it. But same idea. But instead, for my version, I'm going to have to do it by hand. Which is going to be even worse. But hey, it's just me. I'm going to make the lair all one cell, which is going to make it much easier for me to work with. The reason why I want to make as many of my cells as, like, I want to reduce as much of cells as much as possible, is not because, like, oh, I hate old computers. That's not what it is. It's mainly just to limit the amount of times you go through loading screens. Because take it from me, a person who's had to use old laptops to play, like, different Oblivion mods, a lot of the times you will experience a crash. Not during the game. I've experienced that like maybe twice. Unless we're talking about Nehrum. Nehrum more than that. But for normal Oblivion, I never experienced that. And this was before I think I found out about the 4 GB patch. I think the only time you would ever crash inside of the game is if you alt-tabbed. Because once you alt-tab, and you don't have the 4 GB patch apparently, the game crashes, so... I think what happens is that it releases all of the memory all at once, and then it tries to jump it back in there. But for some reason, Oblivion can't load it. But because it doesn't have that large capacity, but yet if you give it the 4 GB patch, it's able to smoothly put it in. I don't know. But yeah, so the layer is going to be all one cell, so that it limits the amount of loading screens as much as possible. As you can already tell, for Sanctuary, it fits so well. But the problem is how the doors work, though. So, if you don't know this, allow me to explain. So, doors will always display what the next area, or the area that you're going to is, on the line. So, the name of the door will be Old Wooden Door. Then, on the bottom will be, like, let's say, I'll use a cell name or quotations, the cell name I would have put for one of the areas, which is the Forge. So it would have on the top line Old Wooden Door 2, and then on the second line it would be the Forge. However, because of the way that I have Sanctuary now, I have to put it all in the same line, so it doesn't flow as well. Unless there's a way you can make it so it goes towards the next line for it. If there is a way, I want it, because that would look a lot better. Because it just looks like a run-on sentence. Old Wooden Door to the Forge. Old Wooden Door to the office. Old Wooden Door to the training quarters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel as good as the original, the Sanctuary, where you have, like, that hidden text kind of thing. Or that second line that fits a lot better in towards the aesthetic of just, like, opening doors, pretty much. Like, I could technically get rid of the basement and make it all one cell, I think. Wait, could I? I think the only thing is that I would have to line up the ladder with the trapdoor that's on the main floor. But yeah, technically I can make it all one cell. How come I never thought of that? Sorry, I'm getting repels because I'm getting sick and tired of these wild Pokemon. And I'm hoping this guy actually sells repels. Oh, good, he does. Oops. 16, that's fine. But I'm trying to think of everything else too. Yeah, because I definitely know I can't do the Cove. Because... well, I can't do the Cove for 2 reasons. One is that both of the areas that are extras... so the Captain's area is its own cell, and not only that, it doesn't really work as well as you might think for the area, because the inside of the cell is like, you get to see the landscape outside, but the problem is that unless there is a mod out there that allows you to have that same thing for the exterior, you can't really do it, unfortunately. Because the exterior makes it look like it's boarded up. Like the windows are boarded up, so you can't see out of them. So, can't really do that, I'm afraid. But for, what's it called? Oh, brain, come on, man. I hate that you're mush all the time. But for the lair, I definitely can do it. Like, that's not a question. The lair, I'll definitely... Well, I might not do it in the same way at first as the sanctuary. I'll slowly start preparing myself to go do that, because that's a lot more work, and I don't really want to do it. However, I do want to find out, like, right off the bat, if it will work the same way as Sanctuary does. Because literally, how I fixed the Sanctuary clipping issue that we had before, I literally grabbed what the original Sanctuary in Oblivion has, and I just copied its, like, X, Y, and Z coordinates of that cell, or that little block area, and then it worked. It completely worked. So it's like the person was able to grab the vanilla values and put it there. So I want to see if the vial layer will work the same. Because if it does, that's fine. The only thing that I do not know right off the bat as I am speaking right now is for the 2 areas that have water, I don't know if they will have water later. Because the cloister area, not a Pokemon, just it has an I instead of a Y, and the shrine area, they both have water. So it's like, will it work? Will it not work? I don't know. But if it does work, hey, I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. It works. Who cares? But for everything else, it's like, who knows? So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to AXM everything first. So before I do the whole 1 cell thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to AXM everything, get everything to be standalone other than the books that are lying around, because I'm going to do something different with that. And what's the other thing too? I think that's it. I think I just want to AXM, get everything standalone as much as possible, and then we can start planning around getting it to 1 cell. And then I think the first thing I'll do is I'll just try and manually piece them there, kind of thing at first. And then before I start doing the whole merging into 1 cell thing, what I'll do is that I'll save the copy of the ESP file that I'm editing pretty much, so that we don't have that issue. And before I piece all of that stuff, I'm also going to go and yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and as soon as my brain decides to catch up all the time. What am I thinking of right now? Huh. My brain is just mush right now. I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say. Oh, right. So when the cove and the... I remember now. So when the cove and the lair are both AXM'd, which means that they have their own editor IDs and stuff like that, so I can manually edit each and every one of them depending on what I want to do. And not only that, when they are both standalone, so though they don't require vanilla or modded textures, or in some cases DLC textures, we're fine. So that's exactly what I am looking forward to doing. So once those two steps are done, like first I am AXMing everything, because that's, I don't want to say it's the easiest thing, but it's easier than just getting everything to be standalone right off the bat, because that means I have to go through each individual mesh. I have to remap every texture, and then through that process, it's just too much. And then I have to go through the CS as well, and then change this out though it uses my meshes instead of the vanilla ones. That part's not as hard. It's just terrible because of how old the CS is, and how bad their UI works for being able to path to those. That's the only thing that's bad. Like, you can't copy the link to the to where it is on your computer, and then it'll piece it and it'll grab it. What you have to do is you have to go through like a drop down menu and go there. It's like, it's not as good. It's not a very good system. But for the most part, yeah, like, I'm going to try and do all that. I did it for Sanctuary already. There's just a few things that aren't there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab most of the alcohol beverages, I think. Like the wine and the beers and all that stuff from the DLCs. And I'm going to copy them over to mine. And then that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to directly copy as I did with the lair and the cove because it causes issues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see how it looks in the CS. I'm hoping I can get the actual, like, position, pretty much. And then what I'll do is I'll just move them over to my mod. But I'll grab the right editor ID and all that stuff. So there's no there's no problems at all. The only difference is that I'm going to go and change this so that the first three letters are going to be AXM, so that it won't conflict with anything. And then we'll just use that as the stand-ins for some of the beverages. And then for the cutlery, I still have to do that silver thing, which is going to take a little bit too. So those ones have to go through the meshes themselves, and I have to change how their collision works. So right now, how they work is that you can move them around and such. That's not what I want. I want them to never be able to be moved. So I have to go through all of that nonsense too. So that's something that I have to also address too. And I think that's it. I think it's just the cutlery and the wine bottles and such. I think there's also some poison bottles, but I already have a poison made, and I can obviously just make a different one that will fit the theme a little bit better, so it's fine. There's something else as well that I'm forgetting about that I need to do. Oh, right, yeah, some of the books that are on display. Those ones I'm just going to do like I do with all the other ones for the most part, and just have like that storage container of books. And then that's what I'm going to use. But the difference for that one is that, like, these are just going to be like empty bookshelves, so you can put your books in there instead. I'm going to see if there's a better selection of different placements of the books, but I think there's only 6 of them though, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's better than just having loose books that you can throw around and do all that stuff. And same thing with the lair. The lair's going to have the same thing like that. Like, the lair's going to have those same storage containers. Mind you, they're going to be separate, but same idea, though. It's going to have a storage container that you can use to store books if you want, or just do something else. I know, actually, Lara, one of the bookshelves may have books, but I think I'm going to have it so that it has the books that it should have, if that makes sense. So if you don't know what I mean, Vile Lair actually comes with books. It comes with something, it comes with 2 things, I think, that about vampires. I think. I know one of them's about vampires. Is the other one about... the origin of vampires? I think one of them's about the origin of vampires. Oh, they don't put the books in the items. That's weird. Yeah, they don't say anything about that. That's interesting. Oh, no, wait. Here they are. Okay. So it's this one and this one. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Oh, it's I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to word this. It says like honor order, like here's a paragraph of what we will do or whatever, and honor dual patrons, same idea, and then honor rivals, same thing, and then honor conduct, same thing. I'm trying to remember what it's like. I'm trying to remember what that kind of it's like a speech, but I'm trying to remember what the actual word is. It's like a creed, maybe? I'm not quite sure. And then the other one. Just gonna move OBS a little bit so I can move the emulator so I can see this a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, and so I'm just trying to read one of them and trying to see if it's the same idea. Yeah, okay, so it's about the same as I'm guessing it's... So I guess it's a little bit about how ESO kind of shows it, so that's good. So if you don't know, it kind of tells you like the origin of vampires, or like technically in better terms, the original vampire. It gives you a little bit of a brief history of it, so that's interesting. So the character was already sort of planned by the DLC, which is interesting. But yeah, I find it's okay. Yeah, and then one thing that I thought I did, but apparently I forgot about it, was about Greywind's journal, which is supposed to be something you see at the very beginning. I got rid of the pearl, but I forgot to add in the journal itself. Oops, my bad. And another thing is that like some things are going to be directly moved to the to areas and such. So like I think one thing that I wanted to do for the Vile Lair was move the blood of an ancient vampire that I created, so that like anytime you want, you can just drink the potion, you become a vampire. So same idea. So it'll be in the lair instead, and instead of like being hidden under the tree. Since it'll fit that area just a little bit because of the fact that the lair is supposed to be like a evil character slash like a vampire kind of hideout. I say vampire because literally the main bed is supposed to be a coffin, so. And as media has shown, is that vampires really like coffins as their beds, so. And plus this guy was, plus the guy that like had this as his hideout or whatever, also like was a vampire as well. So, I mean, it would make sense though that he would have like stored his blood somewhere, like hidden in there. So, Makes sense. Yeah, because I don't think there's anything else as well. Like in any of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think at some point I said that I was going to open up my Pokemon Scarlet and start playing it. I didn't do that yet. Like I think at one point I said I was going to go get the Mew and I didn't. I keep forgetting to turn on my Switch in order to go do it. And something that I can do right now is I can also go do it now, but... Didn't I say we were at the city already? Anyway, yeah, so like... So I think after this, while I'm waiting for my room to kind of cool back down, pretty much. Or while I'm waiting for my room to cool down, I think I'll go do that. So if you don't know this, my room gets like... Or the room that I record in... Oops, I went to the gym by accident. I meant to go to Pokemon Center. So my room gets like... So the room that I record in... I keep saying my room. I'll just continue saying my room. My room gets really hot. So... Like a lot of times, like if it's winter, I'll have the window open so that the cold air can breeze right through. And usually it'll cool off the entire room for a decent amount of time. However, for this, I can't really have what cools off my room on because it's very loud. Hello. This wasn't this weekend just now? Yep. I only caught a quick glimpse of, but I thought I saw it running on the waves. This weekend is beautiful and grand. Across towns and roads at simply awesome speeds. It's wonderful. Yes, it is. If you want to see how to pose, I've decided I'll battle you as a trainer to earn this weekend's respect. Alright, let's battle now. Okay. I didn't know this was a battle, to be fair. I thought he battled in the remakes. I didn't realize he battled in easy games too. We have a level 23 Drowsy. Buddy. Level 35 Raikou. And also, don't get me wrong though, if I haven't done anything in Scarlet, I still haven't traded over those legendaries yet. Or transferred those legendaries that I keep saying that I'll transfer them, don't worry. Yeah. Because I keep finding something else I want to do for Oblivion or Minecraft, so every time, like, I get the feeling, like, that I want to do something, I do something with those two games, and I forget that Scarlet's even there. Which is very sad, though, because literally in... 1, 2, 3, in about 3-4 weeks, I think, give or take, the DLC comes out. Actually, when does it come out on? They said the 13th. Oh, of course it comes out on a Wednesday. Oh, the worst day because I have very little time to record. Actually, I think I might have something that day. So I might have more time. I'll have to figure out what day they actually said, because either they said the 13th or the 15th. And if they said the 13th, it fits. It's perfect. If not, if they said the 15th, then it's going to be weird. But hey, it's fine. But I hope they said the 13th, because if they said the 13th, that helps me out so much. Because that means that I'll have more time to record the DLC. Either that or No, I would still... Like, I would have to get, like, as very little sleep as much as possible. I would have to... Well, it depends on when they get released, right? Like... Oh, I was so pissed at... what was the game? Oh, no, it wasn't the game. It was the DLC. It was the... What was the DLC's name? It'll come back to me. What was the DLC's name? It was Crown Tundra. It was supposed to come out on October 23rd or 22nd or whatever, but it came out the next day. So I literally made sure that there was nothing happening on that day. And then instead it came out the next day for me. So I was really angry. Because I had little time that day in order to do it. Because I prolonged everything for the next day. Oh, I should have quick attacked instead. Yeah, it's fine. And what's the other thing that I was... Because now BDSP, we finished it all in one day, which was very interesting. I didn't get much sleep. I think I slept like for days after. And editing that thing was a monster. I clicked the wrong button. I clicked bite. Maybe we'll get a flinch? We didn't get a flinch. Yeah, because I think we... Yeah, because we beat Brilliant Diamond in a day. And then I decided to go, you know what? We beat Brilliant Diamond in a day. That's good enough for me. I'm tired. So I think I took a long break from Brilliant Diamond in order to just recover from talking for so long. And not only just talking for so long, but just talking nonstop for like almost like, how long was that? Like almost like 16 hours of videos. It was insane. And then editing it wasn't as easy as I thought it was, but at least it was much easier than, what was it? Knights of the Nine Revelation and, Diablo 3. Oh, man. If I have my new system of editing now, I would never have a problem with that. I would have found it off early. So, yeah, so a lot of things get improved over time. Oh, I need strength. Oh, I keep forgetting that I need certain HMs. I keep forgetting I need these. I don't even know if Sentry can learn it. But, yeah, like, I've been a little busy lately just trying to get the Oblivion mod all set up. And, I just finished getting everything in the cell, like, so that way you can actually see them. So, hooray for that. Like, that's done. I think that was done on Thursday. No, sorry, that was done on Wednesday. That was done on Wednesday. I had to do something Monday, so I couldn't do it then. So I did the second cell. I did the second cell on Tuesday instead, and then on Wednesday I did the last cell. Then I thought that I might have made a mistake. So I had to go and double check the third cell, and then I found out that I didn't have an error, so hooray for that. Just gonna speed this up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so I found out that I didn't make an error, so I was happy about that, but then I was also very angry at the fact that I had to go look through it again. So I was like, hooray! And then the next time I go on Pokemon Scarlet for the channel, which will be hopefully before the DLCs drop, which will probably end up giving this series a little break too, so though it gives me more time to make more videos and also edit them. Because, you know, stuff, and it'll also show like where I am in terms of the game, like, is it you? No. Then that means it's in here then. It's you then. I'm hoping that Centric can learn strength, sorry, not surf. Centric, please be a pal. Learn strength, please. Ugh. I mean, I could teach it to one of them for now, just so we can get through the gym. But what I'll do is that, like, at the end of the session, I'll just change the move to, the move we replaced. Unless we can learn a new move, and I would have rather have removed, like, strength for it, then I'll remove it for that. But, like, I mean, if Entei's gonna learn Flamethrower, I'm gonna get rid of Ember no matter what. But, like, if it wants to learn, let's say, Bulk Up. I don't think the Bulk Up's in this game, but you know what I mean? Like, something that wants to raise its stats, and I can't get rid of anything, because it's like, everything is just too good, then, yeah. Just gonna go to Pokemon Center. This would be where teleport would be very helpful, so I could just teleport to the next town and go to the next gym, but it's fine. Although, technically, the best play right now is to go to the Red Gyarados and catch it, but that's just too boring, and I've already done that twice. I'm hoping that you're not very difficult. I'm hoping you just get taken down in like one shot, pretty much. Oh, you might. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else that needed to be done. I think for this game particularly was just to get the Raikou because we got the 4th gym badge. And then for Scarlet, it's just to get the Growlithe that I want to have the proper EVs, which I haven't done any more research on. Which is a very big shame because I really want to have a cool Hisuian Arcanine that I just love to use. Or that I would love to use, I should say. What's the other thing, too? Oh, yeah, and soon we're going to be having that Mewtwo raid thing. I might do that off screen, though, because I don't feel like doing that on screen. I'm hoping, though, that everybody that's on it is actually going to be smart. Oh my god, the latest one, what was it, what was it? What was the one that came out not too long ago? How come my brain is going, like, every grass starter, but not the right one that I'm thinking of? Was it Venusaur? No, it wasn't Venusaur. Oh my god, I would have to end up looking it up. That's cool. Anyway, my repel ended. That's fine. Ugh, you and your stupid boulders. Was it Delphox? No, Delphox wouldn't learn it. No, it has to be a grass type. Oh, wait. I think I might know what it is, but I'm going to confirm, though. I'm just going to go on Cerebi, though. Oh, sorry. I'm going a little too fast for you guys. Slow it down a little bit. Sorry. I spammed A. Did I spam A again? Oh, that's the whole Mewtwo Mew thing. It's not what we're looking for right now. Oh, Rillaboom. That's what it was. Oh, how could I forget about Rillaboom? I mean, it's something I do want to forget because everybody was being very terrible at fighting it. Oh, my word. I was so angry at the fact that, like, everybody was, like... So the first time that I went to a Rillaboom raid, I went online for it, and I thought that my perfect Pokemon that would be very good against it, because I looked at Rillaboom and looked at the fact that it was a normal type for the Terra type. I was like, you know what would be very perfect? My Koraidon, because not only can it set up the sun, but but not only can I do it that way, but I can also use it to, I can also use my Collision Course and do so much damage to it if I Swords Dance once or twice. So I thought that it would be perfect if I just did it that way. But of course... that didn't really work out because apparently it had the move Growth, which if you don't know what Growth does, it increases your attack and special attack by 1 stage, but it can also increase it by 2 stages if if it is in Sun. So pretty much I made the Rillaboom get really, really buff by accident. But I didn't know. I didn't know its move pool at that time. So, it was my first time fighting it, so of course I'm not going to know that. And then after that, I think I kept switching around between different Pokemon that were recommended, in heavy quotes, and then none of them worked. Then I think the one that actually worked was my Zamazenta. Because it would actually work if you actually did it properly. The only thing is that, like, everybody was being very silly with what they were doing. Everybody was being very silly. Because there's a different version of the Zamazenta. So if you go with Corviknight, which... is a lot better than the Zamazenta, by the way. Because for the difference between the two is that Zamazenta has no way of recovery, whereas Corviknight does. Because Corviknight can learn, well, it can learn Roost. Which is a lot better than just, you know, not being able to recover at all. But pretty much you could do the same exact thing with both, so it's not like I was completely useless. Oh, I forgot to get the item. I forgot to get the item I came there for. I came there for a potion and I completely forgot to go get the potion. My bad. I don't know where the potion person is, though. Is it this person? No, that's not it. It's one of these. No, it's not you. I think it's you, maybe. Nope. So apparently Artemis stole somebody's Pokemon. Ah. It's this house. Okay. There we go. That's what we came here for. There we go. So, yeah. So again, for, like, Oblivion and stuff, like, I try to do my best to try and give them as much time as possible, but, you know, there are some days in which that you don't want to do anything for that. In the case for the Oblivion mod, there are some days in which I just go like, you know what, I don't really feel like doing any work on that, and then I'll leave it alone. And then same thing with like just working on Arcanix or anything for Circuitcraft. Same idea, I'll go like, you know what, I don't feel like doing that today. It's why for I think the first beginning parts of Circuitcraft 1.20, you'll see the like all the barrels were still there for a long time, or for a decent time, is because, like, again, those kinds of things pop up in my mind. It's like, I don't feel like doing that right now. I'll do that tomorrow, and then tomorrow happens. It's like, I don't feel like doing that today. I'll do it tomorrow, and then keeps on prolonging it even further. And then same thing with, what was it? Same thing with the Oblivion mod, too. Like, in order for me, like, I think I had Sanctuary all AXM'd and ready to go, but I think it took me, like, 2 weeks before I actually made it completely standalone. Because, again, some days I just don't want to do anything, and then other days I do, so that's why I did a bunch of things. So, for the modded playthrough, we're not going to see any changes for a while, except for the time in which that we finish with what we are currently doing. Because what we are currently doing is we're going through one of the DLCs. So once we are done everything with the DLC, I have to empty out one of the storages from that from my mod specifically, so that we can not lose any items. And then after that, yeah, that's it. Since you have steel types, we're just gonna move Entree there. The only one we're gonna have a problem with is Steelix, but hey. Eh. But yeah, but that's par for the course, at least for me. Because a lot of times, though, I am trying to, like, I feel like I have too many things to do. But not only that, though, I keep adding more things onto it, which is the worst thing for me to do. But because I'm adding more things to my list of things that need to be done, I have very little time to go work on them, kind of thing. So, like, Arcanix, like, literally the day before I did the recording for the doors, I literally finished off that storage. Like, that's the kind of thing, though, that I'm talking about, though. Like, I have very little time. And what time that I do have, I don't have enough specifically for me to go do all of that stuff. And because that, to me, I have very little... Oh, the first time a trainer's actually used an item. Thank you. Not like it matters, I don't really need it. But yeah, but because, like, I have, like, all of these things that need to be done, like, I need to finish off Arcanix's storage, make sure that everything's all good, create teleport signs that lead you to the rooms that are hidden in the area. And not only that, figure out all the signs that all the command signs that I do have. Try and find a spot for each and every one of them. Try. I don't have to, but try at the very least. And again, same idea though. Like, I don't know exactly what I can do for that instance. And that's what's really hurting my sort of my enthusiasm to go and do that. So that's kind of the thing that I'm also thinking of too, is like, how do I make myself more interested in wanting to do this little thing? And so each and every time that I think about it, I try to find a way that makes me more motivated to go do it. That's why for Arcanix, I try to watch YouTube videos on the side, so though I have something to distract myself, so that I'm not dredging it even further. And same thing with the Oblivion mod, like, same idea. I watch YouTube videos on the side. But when nobody uploads videos that I want to watch, kind of thing, or I don't want to watch older videos that I used to like to watch, then we have a problem, because now I have no motivation to do anything anymore. And also, I mean, it's not that I don't like rewatching my videos, it's that, like, I already know the end of it, right? It's like, because I've been there, I've done it. Like, even if I were to, let's say, want to be nostalgic and watch me play Nehrim. By the way, I still need to go through that. Oh my word. So I could probably talk about this because it was already very much planned, and I think I talked about it before too. But I'm not quite sure how much I've talked about it. So back during, I think it was the 1st year anniversary, this was planned. So it's not like a recent thing. I actually didn't know Suicune was here. This is just a complete coincidence. It's a complete coincidence, but anyway. But since then, I've had a plan for the 5th year anniversary, which was going to be in Oblivion. We were going to have a book. This book was going to be a detailed, sort of like a journal entries of, well, not really journal entries because it's not going to have dates and times, but sort of like have detailed entries in which that, like, of what our character did during their time in Nehrim. Obviously, it's not going to go for silly stuff like, oh, after leveling up. No, it's not going to have some silly stuff like that. I think I have almost complete 1 finished. Which you may be like, you might think like, oh man, that's like nothing. You also have to remember, though, that the last time I edited these is probably years ago. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find out. Modified in 2021 of May. So in May 20th, 2021 was the last time I picked these up. And you might be wondering, how come you haven't done any progress? You've said that you've almost finished 1. The reason why, of course, is, well, you gotta remember, though, that these were a part of the original videos of the channel. They were a long time ago, right? These were back when the channel was first starting. So the quality is not too great. And plus, not speaking ill of anything that I'm doing right now, but this microphone is not the best. This is still the microphone that was used in those videos. And I was still learning how to, I don't want to say learning how to use it, but I was still learning like the ins and outs of audio and trying to piece together like better audio levels for the game and the microphone and all that stuff. And this was before that there was an introduction that I could actually start, not soundproofing, but that I can minimize background noise with this. with this microphone. Because it was supposed to have that, but for some reason, it didn't have that. You naughty, naughty microphone. Because you were supposed to, but for some reason, you didn't. And I was angry. Because at the time that I bought it, it costed me a lot. Well, it still costs, I think, roughly the same now, but back then I didn't really have as much that I could spend frivolously on a microphone like this. And then I found out that it wasn't the microphone that I needed, because this one is better if you sound treat your room, I think at the time. And then with the new microphone that I have, which is right above me, well, I say right above me, but it's technically behind the computer, but anyway, that one is a lot better because I don't need to sound treat my room, which is better for me, because that means I don't have, because they're both roughly around, I think, the same price line. I think this one was 120, and I think the one that's above me is about 180, 200, I think. Mind you, would it be better if I sound treated my room? Of course it would. That would be a lot better for all of us, because then you don't hear me echo or anything like that on the video, if that actually is a thing. But then again, I think I have my computer kind of like, so like a lot of like both Cube and Monochrome here are like both on the computer itself, and so is my Nintendo Switch and everything. So I think it's kind of already done the fact that there's no echo in the room. And plus my TV. But then again, yeah. But yeah, so the fifth one was just going to be like a sit down and read. Similar to how the Dark King was, but if I was a better editor, we would have a better visualization of the Nayrum adventures. Where I would have like the detailed events, or the events that I'm detailing in the background as footage. So you get to see like the events as they unfold in the story. However, I am not an editor. I won't even call myself one that. I won't even call myself that. I'm just a person who likes to do videos and likes to record for a really long time. Unfortunately got sick, so he couldn't really do that anymore. And now he's getting back on his feet in that sort of sense, so yeah. Yeah, so like there's other things that I have planned that I want to do for the channel as well. Like I want to play Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And another thing that I wanted to do, like that's one of the games that I want to do, and I'm trying to not rush, but I'm also not trying to go too slow for it because I want to move on. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to finish Oblivion modded playthrough as quickly as possible, so that way though we can start moving on to Enderal. If you're unclear of Enderal, Enderal is pretty much the same thing as Nayrum, but it's for Skyrim. So, Nayrum is supposed to be a total conversion mod of Oblivion. So, what Enderal is that it's a total conversion of Skyrim. It uses the Skyrim engine, but it's a whole completely new game. Same thing as Nayrum. Nayrum uses the Oblivion's engine, but it's a new game within that engine. So that's exactly what I am trying to do. Is I'm trying to finish off modded playthrough so that way that we can get that done. Now, mind you, Enderal will be sort of fighting against the Oblivion mod playthrough because those two are going to be interchangeable. It's sort of like how if Scarlet came out with the DLC, let's say today, Crystal and Scarlet would be fighting each other for the runtime, pretty much. And then for StarCraft, it would be fighting against any other game. Not because StarCraft is not important, but because of the fact that the middle slot is always for any other game, but is always going to be occupied by Minecraft, or StarCraft in this instance. So that at the very least, there's always going to be a video in that middle slot. Whereas the first slot, which is usually Oblivion modded playthrough or Oblivion mod playthrough, depending on the timetables of each. Because that's pretty much all that's there. Because I'm trying to think of everything else too. Because I definitely want to do Tiny Tina's Wonderland, but every time it goes on sale, it's always at the wrong moment for me. And it's so frustrating. It's like, I really want to play it, but like, every time I do, it's like, I don't have enough for the game, and then it's like, it's on sale now. It's like, you're a jerk. Like, you wait till I don't have enough for it. And then when I do have enough for it, it's like, it's always like, let's see if it's on sale now. I'm curious. Of course, it takes up the entire flippin' screen. Why you exist? Anyway, see if I just search up Tiny, if it'll pop up first. Wonderlands, there we go. Let's see, is it on sale right now? Actually, I could have checked my wish list now that I think about it. Anyway, nope, it's not on sale right now. But watch, the next time... Yeah, so here's the shiny Gyarados. Gonna save the game. I don't think we can... Well, maybe we can weaken it. Yeah, we could try Ember and seeing if we can weaken it at least a little bit. Our special shouldn't be that high. Yeah, Entei's not a special attacker. It's more of a physical. No, I'm just gonna keep throwing Pokeballs. Hope that's good. Oh, you might be able to hear that outside. Oh, that's evil. Alright. Pokeball, come on. Stay in. Oh, it's only wiggling once? That's sad. Oh, if only I had Thunder Wave, though. Yeah, if only I had Thunder Wave. I'm not going to count these as losses because it's mostly just the catcher Pokemon we can use for HM usage. I'm only going to count like important trainers or trainers in general. Okay, we go, Gyarados. Get rid of the final move. Come on. There we go. Here we go. Perfect. That'll be everything we need for now. Hi there, buddy. But as I keep, but one of the things that I keep saying though about my mod is that one of the things that I want to do is I want to put miniature versions of things that I've used. So for instance, one of the things that I want to have a miniature version of is Castle Trilesia, which is pretty much just Castle High Rock in a nutshell. But another thing that I want is to have a miniature version of Anvil Castle, Frostcrag Spire, and because it doesn't really provide much of anything, I'm going to check something before I put my foot in the ground about it. Before I say it's concrete that it doesn't come with anything. Battlehorn Castle. The reason why I say this is because Battlehorn Castle has a display room. And what I'm trying to do, or what I'm trying to see, is that if this said display room has something in there. Because if it actually does have something in there, then, well, great, it has something. But if it doesn't, then we don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about the Gyarados. If I really feel like putting ready as the name, I'll do it off screen when I change strength back to Fire Spin. Okay. Yeah, because after I'm definitely done recording this, I'm definitely going to have to try and cool off the room. And then, but while the room is getting cooled off, I'll have to finish off with Arcanix, so that's good. Once Arcanix is finished off, I'll still continue on with my little break, but then I'll have to start doing Oblivion and then Craft, and then, of course, this again. But at least with Craft now, it's going to be much easier because the work that I need to do with Arcanix, it's going to help deal with a lot of the areas that we need to deal with for the ship on the server itself too, so that's good. Yeah. We're almost done too. Well, we're at 128 mark and there's still a half an hour left and I have nothing to drink. And I'm feeling very parched, so I really want to get something to drink, but it's like, I don't want to pause the recording. I wish I had like a different... Like, I wish I had like something else to drink right now. I'm really thirsty. Anyway. Yeah, so the name room thing, hopefully something happens in which that I'll be able to do much more work on it. Or I'll find time to be able to do it. I mean, I still have about 2 or so years, so it should be fine, but... a lot can happen then, so... Yeah, so I'm trying to think of everything else, too. Like, Arcanus is just teleporting to the areas. I think that's it, and then that's it. Because there's just one... I think there's 7 areas in total to teleport. Oh, I forgot to do one thing in terms of the doors. But it's fine. I could just do the teleport to rooms thing, and then, like, if there's time left, I could do the door, but I forgot one. And I'll definitely address it, but there's one door that I forgot to open in terms of it, but it's fine. It's fine, it's not that big of a deal, I could just do it off screen anyway. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really need to talk about. Not really. Because I'm trying to think of everything else. Because there's nothing else to talk about Oblivion except for that there'll be no more version updates from here on out until I finished standaloning and everything. Cool. Yeah, so once everything is standalone, or and is at least AXM'd, or everything's AXM'd and everything is standalone, then that's when we will update everything again. And then the only way that anything is going to be updated even further is for the companion part. Now, I'm hoping nothing breaks. Because that's the next thing that's on my list of things to do, is to finish off that Oblivion NPC thing that I wanted to do. Which is mostly just supposed to bring tests from the Bladesong mod into a standalone-ish version to my mods, that way that we don't really need Bladesong anymore. Technically, out of all of the mods that we're always going to be on our character, we don't really need 4 of them. They're just there just because they're weapons or they're things or extra additives that we could use for something else. Like Lost Spires has a bunch of cool knickknacks you can use, which I technically don't need because, well, my mod already has all those knickknacks, right? So it's like, we don't really need it. What's the other one? What's the other thing I'm thinking of too? What's the other mod? I need Vortex to load up so I can actually see what it is. Because there's like something else. Like, it's on the tip of my tongue and I just can't quite figure it out what it is. Because there's Heart of the Dead is another one, but that's just because of the companion. It gives you a companion. If you get rid of the companion, that's a whole different story. Let's see here. Is there another one? Knights and Nun Revelation we need to keep because that has the chest that we can sell things at, so that's a good thing. But in hindsight, I can get rid of it if I do the OBSE injection thing. So, because my chest will be the exact same thing, so, And we have the Dungeons of Ivalon. That's another one as well. Yeah, and then we have the companion thing from Bladesong. Then we don't need Bladesong anymore. Yeah, we can get rid of Ivalon. Ivalon doesn't really provide much of anything. And especially since I copied pretty much everything that I really needed from it, we don't really need it anymore. Since the only thing that's really useful about it is the weapons and their damage and their scripts. But I have both, so it's like, technically we don't really need it. Cool. Yeah, but Entree should survive no matter what, though. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. Bite. Yay. Cool. Do you want to trigger a statue? I accidentally went on the pressure pad thing, which I didn't mean to. Yeah, so this is also a part of a series in which that we're going through the main series games, as well as going through fan games. We did have one, I did have one originally planned after this, but it changed. I don't want to say suddenly, but it changed because I found something a lot better that I wanted to do. Let me see if I still have... Let me see if I can still remember which one was originally planned. Because I do have all of the games on here. Where are you? You're in here. Well, it was gonna be a short one. I didn't want a huge one like the other two. Because if I wanted a huge one, then we're just gonna be never-endingly, never finishing the game. And there was one in which that everybody was recommending. That was gonna be the one after that. Which it still will. Yeah, because I think the plan was do Ruby and Sapphire, because Emerald was so later on during the release state, or the release schedule. I don't want to do Emerald just yet after that. And then we'll be doing, as soon as my brain catches up, we are going to be doing... we were going to be doing the fan game, and then Fire Red, Leaf Green, and then we're going to finish off with Emerald. And then after Emerald, we're not going to be doing a fan game after Emerald, but for the Fire Red, Leaf Green we are. But for Emerald we are not, because it is standalone, because of the fact that it's... I think it was created after Fire Red, Leaf Green, I think. I think that's how it was. I feel like I might be wrong. I'm not even seeing Emerald. That's the sad thing. I'm not even seeing Emerald. I've seen everything else. Oh, Emerald was released with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Yeah, so it was released after Fire Red, Leaf Green. Okay. It's not too bad. But yeah, so we'll be dealing with, yeah, Yeah, so we'll be doing it this way. So we'll do a Ruby and Sapphire, we'll do a fan game, and then we'll do Fire Red, Leaf Green, fan game, and then Emerald. Then we're not doing a fan game, because we'll be going with the GameCube versions. The GameCube games, which is the... what is it? The GameCube games, which is Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness. And then after that, we're doing a fan game. But I think for between Ruby and Sapphire and like for after Ruby and Sapphire, we're gonna do a short one because I don't really want a long game, so to speak. But it's like I don't want a long game, but I also don't want a short game as well. So this is a bit of the compromise between the two, because we're going from a short to a longer one. It's kind of like how I did the DLCs. So we've only done 2 games worth of DLCs because they came out when I started the channel. So it was, and they were already games that I had or that I already bought the DLC kind of thing for. So, right? Because I think when I first started the channel, I think Isle of Armor came out, I think, two months beforehand. So it's like, while I technically would prefer to have, like I would have preferred to do Isle of Armor, but it was 2 months before, and pretty much all my saves have already finished it by that time. Like, I finished everything about Isle of Armor, I think, within, like, the first 3 days of it being out, I think. I think it's the first 3 days to about a week of it being out. I finished everything. So it's like, well, now I have nothing else to do. And even if I wanted to do videos about it, there's not many videos I could have made about it. And what was the other thing, too? Like, I'm trying to think of everything else, too. Because the one game that you'll always find me going back to no matter what is Oblivion. Like, that's... And then I wanted to create a new series of Oblivion once we've pretty much finished off a lot of the Oblivion mod playthroughs and a lot of the other sort of things as well. I want to create a new series in which that we do maybe one quest of video, and what it is that it is a, I don't want to say dramatic, maybe just a retelling in a way, or like sort of like a how-to or something like that. I don't really know how to word it, but sort of like more of a what if. Ugh, that hurt. Alright. So more like a what if. So like, what if Drathis actually did travel to Tamriel? Like, how would he deal with every quest that you see there, kind of thing? But it would just be like, how would the Dark King deal with, like, you know, this quest, right? Or this one. And same idea, though. It's like the same thing with, like, how I want to do, like, this, like, it's going to be the same kind of thing where it's going to be very short videos, so they're not going to be as long, depending on the quest. I mean, if the quest is going to take, let's say, 30 minutes, then that's how long the video is going to be. The only thing is that I gotta pretty much pretend to be Drathis, which is gonna be very weird because I think I did it with... It was one mod. I think it was the Manor, I think. I think it was the... Was it the Manor? Was it Stellaris Manor? I think I was acting like how Drathis would. Or it was Lost Spires, I think. I don't know. I don't know, one of them I was acting like Drathis, and then I think I said that don't worry, in the mod playthrough I won't be acting like that. I can't remember which one it was, though. But I know it was one of the mods, though. Maybe it was Evelyn. I don't know. It's one of them. Anyway. I know one of them I was acting like that, and it was just a fun, goofy thing to do, but it was good. But for this series, it's going to be the same thing. It's like I can take user recommendations, like, oh, do this side quest because, you know, I think it would be very interesting for Drathis to sort of show that. They'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool to have that. And the only reason why that I say that like I think it would be a really cool idea is because it takes me out of my comfort zone in a way, but it doesn't take me out completely. And because Oblivion is the one game that I'll always replay no matter what, it's not going to be like, I don't want to say hurtful, but it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to get sick and tired after part 2 that I'm just going to leave, right? Just going to quit the series. It's like, no, it's like, I'm just trying to figure out what quests would be more interesting at first, or ones that would be like, hey, I could probably see Drathis doing that quest. I want to stay away from the faction ones as much as possible. Mind you, I could definitely see Drathis kind of showing off in the arena, so I can kind of see him doing the arena, but for Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, the Thieves Guild, and the Dark Brotherhood, I kind of don't want him to go through those right away, especially for the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, mainly because Drathis is a good guy, so he wouldn't be a thief, and he wouldn't start murdering anybody. The only reason we're doing it with the modded playthrough is because, well, we need to do it, right? Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot he heals you. But I'm trying to think of anything else, though, too. Like, that's the only thing that I have planned right now that's special for Oblivion, other than the mod playthroughs, of course. And don't get me wrong. Mod playthroughs aren't going to be quest only. There are some player homes that I do want to make videos of, but the only thing with those is that... See, the only problem with player homes is that usually you can get them all done within, like, a 20-minute video, pretty much. Like, being able to show off everything. So that's the reason why I don't want to do those necessarily. But don't get me wrong, I still have I have a plan for them, which is going to be that I'll be doing a bunch of them all at once, not in one, like kind of like all in one take kind of thing. So I'm not going to install every one of them like all the like I'm not going to install like 20 house mods and then go through 20 of them all in one recording kind of thing. That's not how I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do is that, let's say I'll record one, find out how long it was. Let's say the first one was 20 minutes. That's fine. So then we cut the recording so though it's only of that house kind of thing. And then we go to the next one after that. And then the next one after that. So then by the time it ends, we have like 10 videos of that. So that we have 10 videos of house mods kind of thing. So though, not only do I have a long session in which that fits what my quota is pretty much for an Oblivion mod, that it can fit pretty much in a session. I think Evelyn was the only one in which that it was weird, because Evelyn was such a short mod, and even Lost Spires, it like it was a long mod, but like. Again, though, like, even if it's a short mod, but it has a lot of, like, nice details in there, it's fine. And I started looking at a list from people that were saying, like, which quest mods are really good. I'm gonna have to go through a few of them and see if I can even... well, first of all, I gotta see if I can find them, and second of all, I gotta play test them. And what I mean by playtest is that I gotta make sure though that if I have my mod installed, it doesn't break that mod. One of the mods that I was playtesting did break when I had my mod installed. And in order for it to work, I had to uninstall my mod in order for it to work. So obviously, I had to go back into that video, or I had to go back into that mod and figure out why it broke in the first place. And then I found out the answer. It wasn't actually my mod, it was actually that mod itself. It apparently had like a broken script, but unfortunately how it worked, or how it broke, was that it tried to teleport the player, but it did it with a weird flashing mechanic. And unfortunately, it wouldn't trigger for some odd reason. So when I've asked of like people that helped me with my mod, I was like, hey, can you find an answer for what is going on with this script? Because I kept looking at it and I did I did little testings here and there of like, I tried to see if I could solve it myself and I couldn't. Every time I tried it myself, it didn't work. So I was like, hey, can you find out like what's going on? The guy looked at it and said, here's how to fix it. And I was like, oh my god, it actually worked. I actually tested it with my armor and it actually worked. So I was like, oh hey, that's awesome. So I was very happy though, because I ended up playing through that mod with my armor. Mind you, all I really much did is that like I got like pretty much after the test, what I did is that all I did was that I got through the points in which that it teleported me, and then I just re-added my armor. Like I re-added my mod and then I gave myself my armor. I gave myself Soul Link. Oh yeah, something else I had planned for my mod too, yeah. So something else that I had planned for my mod was the inclusion of having a little bit of a scavenger hunt. So if I were ever to release it, you would get the scavenger hunt. But for my version, I might keep it, or I might just disable that part or something like that. But pretty much what it is that like when you first get there, you can't access Sanctuary. You can't access Sanctuary, you can't access the hideout, and you can't access the lair. Oh no. So how are you going to be able to access those locations? Well, and you won't be able to access the lodge, but the lodge will be visible, so you can still see it. And technically you can still access it, but it's locked. So in order for you to get in, you have to find the key. The key for the lodge is going to be in the well that was always planned. So it's not like I'm revealing something that I shouldn't reveal. It was always going to be that the well was always going to have a key that leads you to the lodge. So it made sense. So it makes sense. So in the future, or like maybe after I'm done making everything standalone, maybe I'll continue with that idea. I don't know. But how the idea is going to work is that like in the lodge, you're going to find a key to Sanctuary. Then through Sanctuary, it's going to lead you to either the hideout or the lair, and then whichever one it is, in there you're gonna find the other one. So pretty much if the third key is going to be the hideout, then in the hideout you're gonna find the lair. But if the third one is the lair, then obviously the last one's gonna be the hideout. And obviously you won't be able to hide it very well in the lodge. Or the lodge one's gonna be easy. Sanctuary is gonna be slightly harder. But it's not going to be too difficult. And for getting the third and the fourth key, they're going to be tricky. I already have a place in mind for like the lair if it actually is going to be the third, because I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure out if there's any like unique key models that actually looks very interesting to use. Because I really want to make sure that each and every key is unique, but also has like it still serves a purpose pretty much. And unfortunately, I think there's only like 2 or 3 key models Oh, goody. Yep. Didn't have to do that, man. Is this the one you need 2 keys? Yeah. Okay, so you need to go up here then. I think. No? Okay, then I know where I need to go then. And it's on this computer then. Is it? No? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, okay, so he just gives you the wrong password. Okay, so what do you give then? Do you give the other password? Yeah, but we don't have another... That's weird. Huh. Okay, so he doesn't give you one. That guy doesn't give you one. I'm trying to think if, like, if a computer will give it to you. Slowpoke tail, which makes sense. Hmm. I don't remember how to do it then. Okay. What? That's what it says here. Is the rocket near the 2 Pokeballs? After battling him, talk to him and he'll give you his password. There's no way that's actually it. Oh, it is. That's interesting. Okay. I did not realize that. Alright. Cool. Okay. That was interesting. Didn't realize that. Anyway. Yeah. Just gonna actually close that. Now it's starting to hurt. Alright, yeah, so the treasure hunt idea, I came up with it, and it was... It's gonna be it was gonna be a good idea, because... I mean, it was gonna be pretty cool. But of course, my ideas always constantly change, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I definitely need to cool off this room. I'm starting to get a little too hot for this area. All right. And don't get me wrong though, like the hideout is supposed to like stash some like cool, interesting loot kind of thing. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Is that for the hideout, I'm gonna have it stash. So like I'm gonna go through some of the mods that I've already gone through, and I'm gonna put some of their like sort of their weapons and such, or any like useful trinkets kind of thing, and put them down in the hideout because it makes more sense for them to have it there. Since that's exactly what they're supposed to do, pretty much. Or that's pretty much what it's supposed to be, is that the hideout is supposed to be where you would hold all that stuff. Oh, this is new. Can't have a brat like you on loose. It's harmful to Team Rocket's pride, you see? How strong you may be, you can't take both of us at the same time. Sorry, baby, now get ready to be thrashed. I can do it. Oh, no. Hey, don't be so selfish. Spread the fun around. I love Lance. What, you had an accomplice? Where is your sense of honor? You're the one trying to be 2v1. I'll show you how wrong it is to meddle with Team Rocket. Okay. You're the one that wanted 2v1, and then you're like, oh, you had an accomplice the entire time? That's not fair. It's like, you're the ones that were being fair. You were gonna do a double battle against me. Like, don't you dare call me freaking like that. That's not fair. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so like in the hideout, I was gonna put like extra items lying around. That was gonna be like extra loot and stuff. Because I think that would be like pretty interesting. Is that like you have legendary weapons stored in the hideout, which makes sense. But as I've already said during, I think I've even said it during the Oblivion one too, but I think I've said it definitely on here. The hideout and the lair don't really make sense for the lodge, but it made more sense if Artemis took over and created his castle. It makes more sense. And the reason why it makes more sense for the castle is because, well, the hideout would be where the people who want to rebel would always hide. And the lair would be where, you know, Artemis would hide, or not really hide, but where Artemis would do his crazy evil experiments kind of thing. So, you know, those two places make sense. And then Sanctuary, well, technically it wouldn't be named Sanctuary, but it would be like sort of like where somebody could, what is it, like that would be where his guards pretty much stay. Set is done for, but that's fine. The broadcast experiment was a total success. Doesn't matter what happens to this hideout now. I have much bigger plans. I'll come to appreciate Team Rocket's true power soon enough. Enjoy yourself while you can. Foo. Alright. That did it. We defeated all of the rockets here. And about the young guy I battled in the process. Sorry, Drethus, I saw how well you were doing, so I just hung back. Now all there is left to do is to turn off that odd radio signal. It's this machine that's causing all the problems. I don't see a switch on it. We have no choice, but we have to make all the electrode faint. That should stop this machine from transmitting that strange signal. No fault of the Pokemon, so it makes me feel guilty. Drethus, let's split the job. It makes me feel guilty. Drethus, I'm gonna get you to also go through it. It's like, okay. But as I said though, like the whole lair thing is like I'm trying to wrap my head around how I could get it to work. And I came up with lore reasons why they could exist. But again, like it's not that it fits perfectly. It's that it's depending on how you want to kind of view it as. Ooh, do I want Stomp? Well, I can't really do it, but I'd get rid of Strength for Stomp, so that's a good sign. We now have a move that we can replace it with. Yes! Anyway, but yeah, so the lair doesn't really have a big enough explanation, or one that would actually like be like the puzzle piece that fits the whole puzzle kind of thing. But for Hideout, there can be an explanation. It could be that Drathis was just experimenting more with his creation abilities or spatial abilities that he gained from a special power that he wants to like sort of like not be able to flex it, but being able to see if he can control it very well. So it fits, like you can find a way to fit it. It's a lot better than the lair because the lair is supposed to be evil, but Drathis is good. He's just using evil objects to do it. So it's like, how do you piece that in there? That odd signal has finally stopped. The lake should be back to normal. You're the hero. Let me thank you on behalf of all the Pokemon. Yes, you should take this. I found it here, but I don't have any need for it. And this is Whirlpool. That's Whirlpool. Teach it to a Pokemon to get across wild water. But here, this is mine. Yeah, only if you have the badge here. Okay. Journey to becoming the Pokemon Master is long and difficult. Knowing that, will you keep going? As you know, you're right. If you would give up that easily, you would never have chased that dream in the first place. I look forward to seeing you again. Hooray. I can't wait till near the end of the game where I have to level up Raikou. Aw, really? There's still Pokemon there? That's dumb. That's dumb. I thought they wouldn't be there anymore. Anyway, yeah. So as I said, though, the lair is the most difficult thing to kind of piece in. Because while Drathis did technically absorb a very evil source of energy, and you can flex that, or you can also say, like, that's where Artemis was hiding the entire time. Which would also make sense, though, but again, between the combination of the two, it's like, you gotta have one or the other. But they both fit so perfectly in that one spot. Which is just such a challenge. Alright, so that's gonna be it for now. We did a lot. We beat 2 gyms. Not only did we just beat 2 gyms, but we also got Raikou over here, which we should probably start using more and more because, yeah. I'm also going to try and figure out if we can even get Ho and Lugia on this game. Like, try and figure out, like, how we can even, like, achieve that. I'm not 100% sure, so I'll figure that out as well. Yeah, so that's about it. I don't think there's anything else I really need that I can really think of. So, yeah, so I'll see you guys next time for some more Pokemon Crystal.